Hi everybody, and welcome to today's Pulsechain live stream. So it's going to be a bit of fun. We're going to watch Richard's video, just key excerpts out of that, just to see some of the key stuff on the Pulsechain and the time frame coming up. So the title of the video, of course, is Richard Hart says Pulsechain is soon, and it is soon. Anytime now within 2 weeks, but unlikely to be 2 weeks. So earlier than later within that time period. We're going to check out some of the sound bites, of course, from Richard Hart's video he did earlier today. Very short one, about 20 so minutes, but we're going to just watch a couple of minutes of that at different places in the video. So do bear with me as I travel through that video to get you the best stuff. It's going to be pretty awesome. Hope you guys are having a good time. So hopefully the audio feed will feed through to you, so that should be all good. Let me know in the chat if it's not. But welcome. Pretty awesome stuff. So we're going to look at Pulsechain, the Pulsechain Sacrifice, obviously Pulsechain mainnet, Pulsechain testnet, and Richard Hart's Pulsechain is going to be a pretty awesome opportunity. It's going to have a lot of people enter it for sure. I think the general community momentum is huge. So further ado, let's get into some of the chat here. This is the early update, so hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. And going for gold, let's get into it. All right, here we go.
Hi everyone. Bitcoin price is up, Ethereum price is up. Yay! I love the good bounce. The Sacrifice software seems to be done for the Pulsechain Sacrifice thing. Needs testing a little bit just to make sure it works pretty. And the mainnet, rather the testnet, public testnet, could launch very soon as well. Kind of like them to launch around the same time. What else? Have $1 million.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. You can see there, Alex says Pulsechain is so close. Absolutely. Alex is our moderator. Good to see you in there. It is a darn close, and it is no more. It's soon, but it's not soon. It's really coming up soon. Like we're definitely within the next 2 weeks. And you can see there, Richard's basically intro to his video was that it's going to be soon. That it's essentially finished. They're just doing a few tweaks on it, and they're basically they've got a testnet is going to be coming out, and he wants them, if he can, to have them both launch at the same time. Wow! It's really going to create epic FOMO. We can already see that since this video was done 4 or 5 hours ago, the price of Hex has already risen to about 8.6 cents, something like that, moving in that 8 cent range now, rather than sitting just below 8 cents. So pretty epic stuff on that. And yeah, so I think it's pretty exciting. So that's the first soundbite. We've got so basically we've got some pretty big details there, pretty nice. And Alex says you didn't get to the best part yet. 8 watch spinner for 3,700. Yeah, we're not looking at the watches. We're just going to get into the Pulsechain stuff. But you're free. I'll post the link in the video description to this one so that you guys can check it out for yourself in full detail. Because we're just jumping through a certain amount of stuff here. RH video. There we are. You check that out. So that's it there, and let's get into this. So Alex got the best part, 8 watch spinner. It was pretty awesome, the 8 watch spinner. You can see it in the background. He's pointing it to it now. Okay, we'll play that a little bit just for Alex. There we go.
Watches behind me here spinning. This nice watch spinner. This watch spinner costs more than most people's watches. This is $3,700 just to spin your little watches around.
And that's $1 million, over $1 million of watches there. So pretty epic stuff. There we go, Alex. I played that for you. Very cool. All right, so nice one. So there's the video link to this. Pretty cool. Let's get into some further stuff. I'm going by memory here because I can only upload one video at a time. So we're going to jump through here. I think this is the next section.
And you bought Ethereum with it and sacrificed the Ethereum price probably wouldn't move up very much. If you had $1 million and you bought Hex, price would probably move up because there's so much less Hex for sale than there is Ethereum for sale.
And so that's what we saw after this video live. Obviously, but the market took it seriously, and the price of Hex started moving up. And of course, it's with the lower liquidity, you can actually really move the price. So that's what we saw. Our current price is at 8.4 cents.
And then if you sacrificed it while its value was still higher, right? It's going to use a time-weighted average price, unless technical difficulties just make.
So that's the other thing. It's going to have a time-weighted average price going into the sacrifice. Let's have a look. Alex says, "Thank you, appreciate it." Hey, you're welcome. And Alex says, I will never have one of those watches. Oh, you never know, Alex. You never know. But I get your point. I'd probably end up. I'm more into cars. If I was getting into a car, that would be the kind of things that I'd have. That's what you see. And obviously, if you get rich enough, you can even start thinking about super yachts and super jets. So that's pretty much where you can go. Anyway, let us not get too distracted. All right, so let's listen to this part.
Everything should be using a time-weighted average price. That way, it's as fair as can be, I think. But even with a time-weighted average price, weighting the average doesn't make up for there just being less hex for sale. So there is a chance that if you bought hex before sacrificing, you might end up getting better return, maybe. Who knows? Like, that's the mechanics, right? So you can donate stocks, crypto.
So that's the sort of stuff that he's talking about there. I'm just going to jump ahead slightly.
You should do that soon because the sacrifice phase is going to start soon. What else? Yeah, got to push some parameters to the website so people kind of know what Pulse's supply might look like, things like that.
Yeah, so if you've been onto the pulsechain.com website, then that is what he's talking about, actually updating for the actual sacrifice phase and adding on like the total supply there's going to be, those sort of parameters of Pulse that he's talking about. So just adding some stuff on there, obviously very important when the sacrifice goes live. So that's what he's talking about.
We're close. So close.
We're close, so close. So close.
Let's go look at a Bitcoin and Ethereum price for.
So there we are. So we're so close, and I think that's really important. Now I think that we're just going to head into a bit of value, and that's going to get that.
Let's go check them out.
Now later in the video, there's more on the time frame, so we'll get that shortly.
Bitcoin 30, nice. ETH 2222, nice. What else? Let's check chat.
So he talked about those values, and yesterday in the live stream, I said that the current levels are okay. Obviously, he would like the momentum and the price to be higher, because the higher the dollar values, the higher the amount that goes in the chain. Later on in the video, he does say that, of course, and so that's the idea, is that now is okay, and he's probably pretty happy to go about now, and knowing that there's a little bit of lift in the market at the moment. Good time. Obviously, the higher US dollar value going into sacrifice, the more valuable Pulsechain is it has implied value, so very cool on that. Swiftly go to D007. Hi, can you tell me if I'm right with my understanding? Assume I have 10 ETH and I will sacrifice 4 ETH. Shall I receive 40,000 Pulse coins from my 4 ETH sacrifice and 6 more Pulse coins as an airdrop? 10 ETH, and I will get. We don't exactly know how much we're going to get. It's going to be based on US dollars, space D007. So we have to wait till the sacrifice happens to get the relative amount of pulse that we're going to get. But the basic idea is that it's going to be 10,000 to 1 on the ETH. So. But it's based on your US dollar amount, and later in the video he talks about more is better and earlier is better. So hopefully that helps. That gives some just general guides. All right, so let's quickly go further.
I mean, it's gonna be a short one, guys. So I can't even think there's super important stuff to tell you about. Someone put up a Hex billboard. I saw a Hex.
Let me just jump in the chat there. Sorry, I'm just trying to do 2 things at once there. Second part is correct though. Shall I receive 40,000 pulse coins and 6 more pulse coins as an airdrop? That's correct. Yeah, that is correct, that part. Alex says it will be 1-to-1 for each pulse. That is correct. Yep, and thanks, bro. It says base D00. So yeah, that's true. But the first part is based on the US dollar amount. So, and obviously earlier the better. And Richard says that later on.
Hex billboard on picture of it on I-95 in. Listening to 10,000X by Post Puller to get absolutely jazzed for this. It's a good song. If you Google Hex 10,000X, it's a good song that somebody made. It's been around. in Hex instead of in dollars given to Rolex, right? So I guess if people could show off how awesome they were with stuff that.
So I'm just trying to find the location. I have an approximate idea where it is.
When you say soon, well,
This is back to the time frame again. There's 3 different parts of the time frame. This is the second part.
man, if you want to cut corners, I could probably make it happen at the end of the stream. Or would you like the website to have, like, you know, what the supply might be, things like that? You know, seems like a good deal.
Yeah, so that's how basically ready it is. I mean, it could go live pretty soon, like, you know, almost immediately. But obviously, it wants to update the website with the key stats for it, how much supply and stuff, like all the parameters, gamification, and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, look, I can't give you a specific date, but soon, really soon.
No specific date, but soon, really soon. So cool.
You'll be able to sacrifice Monero too.
And that's news too. You can sacrifice Monero.
Hello, Richard from Netherlands. Thank you. Nice shirt. Thanks. How much bear market's in, and it's still going to go down to Doomville. But I wouldn't mind when everybody sacrifices to be able to get a nice high dollar figure for their sacrifice. That'd be beautiful.
So as viewers that were still in the bear market, but it's a good time to do it now. That's why I said in my video yesterday. Now it's kind of ETH at 2,200, Bitcoin around the 35,000. That's, you know, you might as well just go now.
Hit the like button. It's $13 or $1,400 now, if I had to guess. Thank you, man. The post you put on Twitter is interesting. How has the Matic account been frozen by one? Something empowering that meets your needs at the same levels or higher and is less side effects. Endgame for Bitcoin is it stays a digital store value but doesn't become anything more, or B, more things in real life will, you can even combine them. Then you can generate.
Right, so I think we're up to that the third section on the time frame. So we'll just have to quickly check that.
Then you can generate a rather extensive list of sacrifice addresses for most chains. EVM chains like ETH won't be using that format. And then you can just monitor all those addresses. But like, it's not worth all the complexity to show a cool board or whatever. I mean, you can do it. Like, go ahead. But I'm not going to focus on it.
Not quite there yet.
Where exactly does the sacrifice hex go? Nowhere that will benefit you.
So there we are. When you put the sacrifice tokens in, does not do it the time frame, but do the sacrifice, you're not going to get it back. So you're not supposed to expect anything.
Sacrificing it, you lose it. It hurts you. It's all gone. Gone, 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 gone. You get no benefit from it at all. That's where it goes. Don't worry about where.
So it makes you very clear that you understand that once you sacrifice it, you're not getting it back. It's gone, gone, gone.
Goes after that, bro. It's not yours anymore. Is it only good for tax purposes in the States donating to Sense Foundation? No, they've also got one in the UK, and they have one in Europe as well. That's like an affiliate that takes like a 5% fee or something. Not as good as normal. 2 more weeks for sacrifice.
So here's the third bit. So someone asked 2 more weeks for sacrifice.
It's gonna be 2 weeks.
He's basically nuts. Isn't that again?
2 more weeks for sacrifice. It ain't gonna be 2 weeks. I really do not think it's gonna be 2 weeks. Now that the code appears to be complete, you're just a couple website edits away from being able to do it. I mean,
so just a couple of websites edits away from doing it. So it is very soon, and so I said within 2 weeks, but it's going to be on the earlier side, most likely than later, but probably not 4th of July is the case.
Hard stuff.
20% probability.
Tell us the list of coins we can sacrifice. I'll give you screenshots later because I don't even have the list like memorized. I'd have to check.
So a list of the coins that you're going to be able to sacrifice is going to be published later.
Do you think it's important to audit the sacrifice code that's written in Solidity? There ain't no Solidity sacrifice code, so I don't know what you're talking about. Here's the total of all those, and you're talking about. There's not. You can audit the state of the sacrifice set after the math has been run on it and verify that against the chain or multiple chains. Like, I suggest you do that, sure. But there ain't no sacrifice like code. You can do all this stuff offline. Look, these addresses received these funds that had these dollar amounts at that time, and here's the total of all those, and here's how they get ordered by volume and entry time. Like, it's something you can do all offline. Which is good because it's a less.
So before we go on, we're going to just quickly check the chat and see some of the comments there. So Alex got, but what you get for sacrifice value depends on many things. So we will see how much. But basically, earlier and bigger are better for Pulse. That's what Richard said. So I think we come up to that shortly. That comment. I'm not sure if we have actually passed that or not. Alex K, 10,000 to 1 is related to how much more Pulse supply there will be compared to e-supply. That's correct. And Jonathan Kampala, hey, good to see you. The sound is low on the video. Oh, is it? Got it up as high as I've can at the moment. Let me have a. I'll try and fix that if I can. I did put the sound up as high as I could. Let me make sure that I've got that. Oh no, you're right. So it's not down. Thanks for that, Jonathan. Appreciate it. It's up now. Yeah, sound is a bit low. That should be super high now, so you might have to. Alex Gates, yes, fix that one up. Fidgety Beast, bring up the volume. I've done that now. We can barely hear it. Okay, I've done that, so that's cool. And especially, do you have any idea of the price start for Pulse at the very beginning? 1 cent, 1 cent. Any analysis done? Yeah, well, the basic analysis is that if it's 25%, 20. One of how am I going to phrase it? 1/25th of the Ethereum value would make it about 1 cent. And if it was fully priced, you're looking somewhere between probably 16 and 25 cents. But I think quite a few people were expecting in the little pennies range, but you just never know. And Fitchy, please raise volume. Yeah, done that. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize that I had down on that low. And I would say less than a penny for most likely. Yeah, that's probably That's probably a better approach to have it. So it'll be less than a penny. It will probably snipe up as well. Lewis Patterson, how can we set a notification for Pulse? Best just to get into Telegram and to be the Pulsechain Telegram, and you can find that on the pulsechain.com site. I'll just post that in a second. Let me just post that. So this is the official pulsechain.com, and on that site you'll find the official Telegram. Get onto that group, the Pulsechain Telegram. Always make sure you use official links because if you're going to sacrifice valuable tokens, you need to have the official links. Don't get any other links. Don't let any scammer contact you. Don't do anything like that, and go just for the official links. And obviously Richard Hart will announce live the Pulsechain launch as well. That's probably going to be the case. All right, so Space Dio, okay, let's assume for us, for example, the price Pulse is 1 cent at sacrifice day. We sacrifice 1 ETH worth of $2,000. Could we say that we will receive 200,000 Pulse coins? Not that I'm aware of. We have to wait to see how that gets gamified. So that's why we're saying just be cautious. But as obviously the more US dollars, it's going to be the case. Number 2, if there's an advantage to waiting 3 days from announcement, like hold dog suggest. Yeah, well, Richard said today earlier and bigger in this video today. So I don't think that's the case. There's the Pulsechain website. Yeah, I'm on Telegram, but there's way too many notifications and no way to only notify for Richard. Well, Richard's going to do a live stream, I believe, for the launch, which makes sense, and it's going to happen at any time. So in the next within the next 2 weeks, and probably earlier than later, as he's sort of indicated. So probably that's the best way to get your notification is made by YouTube. But once again, just use official site, official links. That's really the main point there. Yeah, cool. All right, so no, all right. We'll play the video now. Hopefully the sound's loud enough now. Let me know in the chat if you want me to go back on some of those key points with the video.
Less attack surface. Richard, are you cool with us making us Hex merch and selling it to other Hexicans? You need to Google fair use.
So we'll just jump past the fair use stuff.
So I mean, it's an Ethereum fork. So most of the stuff that's applicable from the Ethereum white paper applies here. Then the only stuff that's like relevant are the changes that were made, like burning 25.
So someone was just asking about doing a white paper, but it's not a priority, obviously.
% of the fees, changing from proof of work to proof of stake, validator rotation, penalties for misvalidating, things like that. Thanks for everything. You'll go down in history as the greatest man in crypto. Thanks, man.
Yeah, he's looking on track to do that, isn't he? To go down as the biggest personality, creator, founder in history at this rate. So it's going to be interesting next year or two and ahead.
When Carflex, we'll see. Counterclockwise per day, and the Hex and Pulse are the best things in my life right now. Is that weird? Time, or I mean, anything digital is vastly superior. Language. Maybe I bumped my my microphone. The bonding is going to be in like USD, guys. USD value is what you're. I'll fix that later.
Yeah, so that's that part about USD values that the bonding is going to be into USD. So just take account so the total amount of USD that you put in, and obviously earlier and the better.
The bonding is going to be in like USD, guys. USD value is what you're sacrificing. All right, guys, you've been awesome.
So that was the end of the video. Hopefully you guys have been able to hear the audio for a lot of that. At least if it was low, you could still hear it. Alex says it does have too many messages per day. Lewis, Alex, okay. Do you have a link? And there's the Telegram. Richard calls. Yeah, there you go. And Space, do we know if the sacrifice will be the same ratio for day 1 compared to day 2 or 3? Don't believe so. We're going to find out on the final gamification. It's a little bit up in the air, but basically Richard said in this video today that it was earlier the better. I think that was maybe back here.
Looking good, thanks. It's been around for a couple of years now. It's awesome. See, Rolex, right? So,
Sorry, I might have been back here.
The Ethereum price probably wouldn't move up very much. If you had $1 million and you bought Hex, chance that if you bought Hex before sacrificing, you might email them at airdrop. Kind of like them to launch around the same time. What else? Have $1 million of watches behind me here, spinning. This nice watch spinner price thing. Needs testing.
Yeah, so there was a comment in that video earlier, and bigger is better. I just can't find it there at the moment, and I don't want to obviously annoy you guys by going through 25 minutes, but it is on that video. This is pretty much a summary of that, so hopefully that gives you a better heads up that basically the main thing is that it's going to be soon, and obviously it's based on the US dollar amount. The more US dollars you put in earlier, then the better you're going to get. We're going to get the final gamification when it gets launched, and obviously the original one was that it's going to be 30 days, that the first week would be based on the US dollar relative amount. So we're going to find out how that goes. Then after that, it was going to be a penalized amount on the bonding curve, basically 4.25% each day, up to was it the 3.3x penalty by the end last day? But now we understand that actually the sacrifice phase will probably not be 30 days. Could be something like 2 weeks, and earlier and earlier and bigger is the better. And that's pretty much what we know. And we do know that the supply, of course, of Pulse is going to be something like 10,000 to 1 versus the total supply of ETH. So we're looking at maybe 1.1 trillion Pulse tokens in total. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, the Origin wallet as well from Hex may be participating. We'll see how all that plays out as well. I just imagine that he's going to want to control a certain amount of that supply as well. So we'll just see how that all plays out in the sacrifice. And yeah, obviously Hex is the golden child because it's already indicated that theoretically maybe the sacrifice address doesn't sell the Hex, but it sells it potentially could sell or not other tokens that are received in the sacrifice address. But that means there's less supply of Hexes on the market. That's why he's coming back earlier about talking about the maybe not sacrificing Hex and keeping Hex, and you might do better at the price after the sacrifice or that sort of stuff. So there's a bit of gamification going on there as well. So that obviously the supply of Hex about 5%, and if it goes in sacrifice, could go down to 4%, 3.5%. There'd be just a lot less liquid Hex around. We've talked about that many times on this channel. Lewis Patton says thanks, mate. So that's all good, and probably Alex doing some good comments there. So Alex is our head moderator. There is no bonding curve increase probably for the first 3 days, possibly 7. Then it increases per day. Yeah, that's just likely to be shorter than say 3 weeks originally, maybe down to a week at max if they do the bonding negative the penalty. So basically getting in early and better looks at this stage based unless we get something different on the website that looks to be better, and it's what Richard said in the video today. But the amount you get also affects by the US dollar value. If price goes up, waiting makes sense. Yeah, if it's time weighted, because it's going to be time weighted price, that means that whatever the price of Hex is at the time when you get time stamped when you enter, so waiting may make sense in that case. So that's what Alex is pointing out, so that's true. And Alex says, I'm not planning to put everything in day one. Yeah, so maybe half and maybe half or maybe a third of or half of day one, says Alex. That's probably a fair comp. So you probably could do that. And we're going back to whose question was that? That was Lewis Patterson. There's advantage to waiting 3 days. Announcement like Hodl Dog suggest. Then that could be the case, especially if there's a ramp up in price. So you're waiting. People will keep buying Hex and it will keep pricing up over after sacrifice starts. That's the logic there. That's what Hodl Dog's talking about. So that's very true, and Alex just reinforced that. So yeah, good point. And Power Windows, love the stream, bro. Hey, Power Windows, much appreciates that. Hey, make sure everybody, if you subscribe, like, and share, hit the bell for more. We're going to be doing our best job to cover Hex, and obviously we've got a team on here, Alex and Andreas as well, that are willing to help you out, or have different knowledge bases, and like to offer that. So very cool. Power Windows, thank you for your efforts. Hey, all the best on that one. Thanks very much. All right, make sure you subscribe, like, and share, hit the bell for notifications. That's pretty much it. You've got the link as well to the video for Richard. If you want to, if got the time, go check through the whole thing. It's got a lot of other stuff that's, about watches and other stuff and happening in crypto that you can check out on different sections. But that's pretty much it, and it's very exciting. All right, I think there's another comment there coming in. Just let me wait for that. Lewis Patton says, no better incentive to use Hex in the sacrifice. Though there's the reason why people are using Hex, because they can easily push up the price because it's low liquidity. The second thing is that after the Hex goes into sacrifice, unlike other tokens that goes into sacrifice, it's Richard's basically said hypothetically, and what's the case, that it doesn't actually sell the Hex ever. Basically, it's like taking it off the market, and that means that whatever liquidity is remaining squeezes. So it's commonly known that Hex is about 5% liquid Hex around, and so if people sacrifice 1 to 2% percentage points of that, something like that, then obviously there's only going to be like maybe 3.5% around. Just picking numbers out of the sky there, but that's the kind of logic, is that there'll be less liquid Hex around in the market, and that's why Hex is kind of the golden child, because you can push the price up easy, plus it's probably not going to ever be spent back onto the market, and therefore basically it becomes like staked Hex or ineffective liquid Hex, and just adds on to what we call the origin wallet, or in this case the sacrifice wallet. So that's the idea there. So some people are actually going to play it where they don't sacrifice their Hex, they keep their Hex, looking for the big push up in price during the sacrifice phase, and they're also some people are going to do different strategies like that, where they just keep their Hex, they sacrifice something else perhaps, and then they try and play the Hex price on that. And obviously after the sacrifice, there's going to be less liquid Hex as well around, so it's going to be an interesting volatile period, but ultimately there's going to be less Hex around, and that's kind of the play there, other than price pump to get more. So no, there's no special benefit for Hex. It's going to be treated like all other ERC20 copy tokens. They get copied over. But obviously with Hex, you've also got staked Hex. So staked Hex gets copied over. So you're getting a copy of your stake Hex. So if you got that, that means you've got T-shares. Those T-shares in Hex every day. So you're going to get copied over the Pulsechain. So that is kind of a special benefit in that regard. I'm not aware of the other projects. Alex might know. I'm not aware of the other projects having any of those benefits there. So Alex says correct. Yeah, so there we are. All right, looking good. If there's no other questions, we'll probably end the live stream, but this is a quick update. I thought that video was pretty exciting for Richard. Soon. And that's pretty cool. Obviously, Monero's been added to the list, but we're getting a lot of that in the Telegram group. Make sure you sign up to the Pulsechain Telegram. Make sure you go to the pulsechain.com website that I gave you. Also, you can follow Richard on YouTube as well. So I've given you the link to his video. Follow him, and then you'll hit the bell for notifications, and you get all that stuff. Remember, last thing, always use official sites with it, because you're sacrificing valuable tokens. There's scammers galore out there. Be very careful. We just had a chain swap just got hacked yesterday and impacted DexT, and they had to actually pull their liquidity and pull all the and sell down their dev wallet and to recover the ETH before the scammer sold. They were very lucky in that case, but then the scammer finally caught on, sold it, but had, instead of making 1.3 million off DexT, they only made about 30,000. So that's the way it goes. So just be very careful out there. It's not a very serious thing to take into account at the moment. A lot of attention's being taken to Pulsechain and Hex in particular. So a lot of people are trying to get all the big bags that these people are holding. So take care. All right, in English, can we just buy Pulse instead of Sacrifice? You could do that after it launches. You can buy it. You can't get Pulse until after the launch on mainnet, so you have to wait. The Sacrifice phase is first, then there'll be a snapshot, then there'll be the Sacrifice, a testnet, public testnet, then a snapshot, and then there'll be the actual mainnet launch of Pulsechain, and that's when it will go onto the markets. They're going to have their own copy of a Uniswap on there. So that's going to have the price determination. It's going to be a bridge over to Ethereum, most likely at that stage. So the people will be bidding over ETH over that chain. That's the sort of stuff we're expecting to see happen in that order. Lewis, APR, yeah, absolutely, APR. But Lewis, I appreciate the explanation. I'm new. This is a great channel. Hey, really appreciate that, Lewis. We're just trying to help as well. We're pretty open-minded on this channel. We don't really get into tribalism. We like to talk about other crypto projects, not just Axiom, which is the main topic for this channel. Alex K, welcome, Lewis Patterson. Absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell for the notifications. And obviously we've already got like 5 other videos on Pulsechain, or 6, maybe even 6. So we've actually coming in that pretty solidly. Alex K, English, sure, after launch. Yeah, after launch you can buy Pulsechain. Some people will be doing that. They may not even enter the Pulsechain launch and may just try and buy on a dip after the launch. We're expecting maybe the price will shoot up just like it does in normal, and pull back and then slowly rise over time. And that's what we're expecting what I expect to happen. So we'll see what that has. It's not investment advice or price knowledge. That's just a typical profile we see when they rally up. Obviously, Pulsechain is a massive chain, copy of ETH with the full copies of the ERC20 states. So it's going to be quite differently priced, and obviously it's got super duper features. They're going to make it super fast, and it's going to have some probably 1 or 2 other secret sources in there that Richard's got in there that we probably don't even know. So look out for that. Ian English, thank you. No, you're welcome. Hey, just once again, take care out there. It's going to be very exciting, but just do your due diligence as well, as much as possible. We try to help on this channel as best we can, but that's pretty much it. I'm going to be doing, obviously, the Axiom auction later in the day. I think it's basically sold out now, so it's going to be a very short live stream tonight, and then we have a regular auctions going up as well. If you are interested in diversifying your portfolio, then do have a look at do your due diligence on Axiom, and it's a certificate of deposit, wrap Bitcoin dividends, and other things that you can get as well. We've got heaps of videos on the channel if you want to check that out. All right, okay, hope you enjoyed that. Once again, thanks Alex, our head moderator, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. Peace.